Hey guys, how's it going today? It's your boy Nature Boy here. We're gonna do some good old-fashioned Texas rigging fishing. Um, very simple technique in bass fishing, and I'm gonna be showing you how to do that step by step. So let's get it popping. Hey, what's up, guys? Since we're gonna go over um, the bait I'm going to be using today for this fishing show, and it's one of my favorites to use, and I will explain why. It's Googan baits. Googan baits. Um, I like it because it's extremely heavy, and I think in this area the water is very shallow, very light. Back in the cut's not that heavy, so the sinkability is very high. Um, and this is the thick Googan bait. It's really thick and really heavy and juicy for these fish. And I got it. The setup is very simple. Setup. I got this set up in a Texas rig style. As you can see, open eye hook. I think it's a 2-aught hook. Very simple to set up. Very cool. And I got that barely tucked in the back. So when I pop, when I set the hook, it'll just fly right out. So if you take a look at that, and that's my setup. And that's it. I mean, it's gonna be showing you guys some simple techniques that you can use. Of course, it's not weighted because I'm in shallow water, not that deep. But when I start hitting some deeper water, I'll probably put a weight on. So let's get this show on the road. So like I was saying, the setup is very simple, man. Open eye hook, not weighted. And because of the area where I'm at, the water's very shallow. As you can tell, I'm kind of in a back cut area. It's deeper water out, but I'm in just a little back cut area. So I'll be just showing a little bit of technique of what I do. It's extremely simple. Again, it's just a simple Texas rig style open eye hook. Again, I say it's extremely heavy, so it's not going to take that much for it to sink down. Uh, I haven't seen any um, worms this heavy, and I'm glad it's that heavy. So let's get started. Let this cut. So how I do it, I just basically let that sink down. I don't move it at all. Just kind of let it settle in, look kind of normal. Plus I'm in some tree areas, so maybe something just fell off in the water and fish watch that a lot. So I'll let it sit for a couple seconds, and I'll just kind of very lightly move my rod, very lightly. I'm I'm not really moving them, just kind of jigging it up and down, just kind of get that fish's attention very, very lightly. And I can't really feel it because I have a weight on. It's a lot easier to feel it with the weight on. But then I'll move into a little bit of heavier pops, and I'll kind of slant my rod this way, just kind of make it look a little bit more realistic as I move it in. And sometimes I can actually pitch this, not to disturb the water too much, because I am up on the bank. And so I can just flick that bad boy right on in there. Real simple. I got caught up in some trees. I'm back. All right. Start that again. All right, wait a minute. Like I said, I just let it sit. I can do it with a lot of soft plaques. I let it kind of die down and sit a little bit. Just kind of move it a little bit, a little tight twitches. I'm moving it very, very extremely soft. I'm not moving it, check it, see if the fish got it. I'm not moving it off the bottom. I'm moving it enough to kind of get a reaction, see what's going on, and then I start to move it a little bit heavier. Really paying attention to the bottom because I don't have a weight on. I can't really tell sometimes. I can feel if I hit something. So I'm just basically moving it off the bottom. Just giving it some pops. I'll pop it like twice, then I'll pop it again. Just kind of let it rest between pops. I'll pop it again. Let it kind of rest between pops. It's a very methodical way of bass fishing and very effective because it's a worm, and it's scraping the bottom. And this is a good, very good way to fish because we're still in that transition period. Going out a little bit further, because we're still in that transitional period between summer. I said the summer. The winter, spring, just kind of popped around. And so it's a good way to, if you're using a litmus crankbait, you miss a fish. If you're using Colorado blade, it's a good way to go back and check the area. And this is what I do. I go back over and check an area. If I fish the area and I use the Colorado blade, a swim bait or something, and I cover that whole area and I haven't got nothing, usually when I go back over it with a worm of some sort, usually I pick up that fish. I think I'm not throwing weight on it. I'm too far into I was too far into the deep area. Okay, now I'm in the shallow. All right. So very, very simple technique, but very, very effective when it comes to bass fishing, and it's wind is starting to pick up, so I'm not going to use a weight. So it's a very, very effective way of fishing, very simple technique that gets fish, that gets results. But the thing you got to watch out for, be careful and mindful about is also your sinkability of your lure, of your bait. Usually I'll throw a worm or whatever I'm using it very shallow to kind of test the waters a little bit. see how much movement I can put into a particular bait. And I'm very, very mindful. I'm very careful of how I use that lure or that bait. And so, um, and you can use this technique with other, um, not just a soft plastic worm, but you can also use it with a crawl or any type of creature bait. Use that same technique, and it works. Um, the biggest thing with moving a creature bait on the water or anything is how you move the baits, how you move them. With I use a 2-1 technique. You know, I'll pop it twice, kind of let it sit for a couple seconds. I'll pop it again, and then I'll move it again twice and one. But if it's really light water, I'll pop it like 3 times, real light pops. Then I'll pop it again twice, and I'll let it sit in between a couple of seconds. But that's a very, very simple way and very basic way of bass fishing, and that always gets the job done. It's been getting the job done for me for like 10 years. And so, very, very simple, short video, but the technique is very effective, you know. So I'll check you guys out next time here at Tactical Fishing. Go out and get you a Texas rig style worm, or just to get a heavy gookin bait worm like this, real heavy. You can open out, hook it, weightless, and go out and pop them rods. Come here, little buddy. Come here.